Caesar salad is an all-time favorite, and it's way better when you make it from scratch. Let me show you how. You cannot get this in a bottle. I like to just get some crusty bread, cut it up into cubes. It's even better if it's a day or two old. Just add your bread cubes to a baking sheet, and then I'm going to combine melted butter with olive oil. Okay, to my melted butter and olive oil, I'm just going in with a couple cloves of garlic. I like it pressed so that you don't get big hunks of garlic. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and stir in some salt and pepper. You have all that stuff at home, don't you? So far, this probably hasn't cost you anything. You could also add some dried Italian herbs if you want to at this point. I'm just gonna keep it simple, a little garlicky, buttery goodness. All right, and then we're just gonna pour that mixture evenly over the bread cubes, and then just toss it around with your hands. You want it all evenly coated. These go into a 375-degree oven for about 15 minutes or so. You're going to flip them, a couple times throughout the process. You just want them to be evenly golden brown. Now let's talk about the body of the salad, the lettuce. I'm using a good classic romaine because that is what's used in a classic Caesar salad. Romaine is good because it's super crunchy, but it's also sturdy, so it holds up to the dressing. I like to go ahead and cut my romaine and then wash it really well, and this is a really good time if you have a salad spinner to go ahead and use that. It gets it super dry. One thing you really want to make sure is that your lettuce is dry before you add it to the salad. Otherwise, the dressing is just going to run off and your salad's going to be super watery. After it's washed and spun, I like to put it in some paper towels and then just stick it in the fridge until you're ready. That way it stays nice and dry, but also gets really crunchy. It'll just be ready for our dressing. All we're doing is just making a very flavorful vinaigrette. Classically, we just make it in the same bowl you're gonna toss the salad in, which is what we're gonna do today. But you could also just make this in a separate batch in a bowl and then store it in the fridge for later. The first step is to make a little paste with garlic and anchovies. Yes, anchovies. It's one of those things that, I don't tell my kids there are anchovies in the dressing. There are some things you just don't say. They're just small fish that have been cured in salt and then stored in olive oil or more salt. They have this briny characteristic that adds so much great flavor to the dressing. So you're just gonna start creating the base which is kind of like a little paste of garlic and anchovy. This is why I really love a garlic press here, because you can already kind of get it into that pasty stage in the bowl. Now for the anchovies, I'm gonna do about 3 or 4 anchovies. If you just, for sure, 1000% do not want anchovies, you could substitute a little bit of capers, just so you still get kind of that briny flavor. That's about 3 anchovies. They kind of melt into the dressing. So you wanna just grab your fork and then just mash it all together. I'm gonna add in a little bit of salt to help that process along. And then we're just gonna keep mashing this until the anchovies just break down. You're also creating flavor along the bottom of the bowl, which is going to carry through your salad. Once you've got that nice paste going on, I'm gonna add in a little bit of Dijon mustard and the egg yolk. Okay, basically all we are making is like a homemade aioli or like a mayonnaise. So a little shortcut is to use just mayonnaise. Finally, add in a couple dashes of Worcestershire. And then that's basically it. Something that's not necessarily classic, but that I just love in my Caesar dressing is a little bit of lemon juice. In with a couple tablespoons of lemon juice, about the juice of 1 lemon. This just kind of, makes it a little lighter. Then I like to break out the whisk and just whisk in your olive oil. Slowly. Extra virgin is kind of key here. You want to use extra virgin oil when you're not going to cook it, really. And so a salad dressing is the perfect time to use it. Although regular olive oil is fine if that's what you have. The egg and the Dijon together are great emulsifiers, so it emulsifies that lemon juice with the oil. That is good. All right, the final step is to grate in some fresh Parmesan cheese. That's it. I'll finish it off with some freshly cracked pepper. There's enough salt in there from that beginning stage plus the anchovies, so you should only need to add pepper at this point. I like to go ahead and take a little bit of the dressing out because you can always add more, but it's hard to take it out. And a little bit goes a little further than you think. Check out these croutons. Y'all, these are like an indulgent potato chip. They are so golden brown. You can hear the crunch. Listen. So they're like crispy on the outside, but when you bite into it, so good. Definitely a good idea just to make a huge batch and, you know, just use them throughout the week. All the components are done. Time to turn it in to Caesar salad. Gonna add in the lettuce, the croutons, give it a toss, and top it with a little more parm. Takes a second to get going. The croutons are gonna start absorbing that dressing, and then I just always kind of have to go in like this to test it out. A little bite of crouton and salad. You cannot get this in a bottle. You can make this whole big batch enough to feed your family as a side dish, or at least a few people as a main entree, for less than what you can buy an entree size portion at a restaurant. You know, they're gonna charge $12 to $15 just for a dinner size Caesar salad, and that's before you add any protein to it. So it is cheaper to make it at home, I think, when it all comes down to it. This type of dinner is what spring and summer are all about. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you want me to teach you how to make next. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments what you want us to see